I think you were more tired than I was last time.
Real tired. But now we have everything in order. We are feeling great. We're feeling lovely. We're feeling awesome. We're gonna kick some butt because he who is above the law should not be above the law.
Yeah, yeah.
Indeed. Well, it just says he is above the law. So I don't have a recap. But we do know that the counterfeit bills were printed using the embassy's press.
All right.
Oh, and we were looking at what he didn't want us to know about. Yeah, I connected Coachen's counterfeiting operation with the renovations. And why he would be upset with Coachen, he's trying to hide, or else we would have a case against him, since he's only admitting to self-defense against Master II. What do you think would have happened if the renovation had begun? Well, we probably would have had to find a better hiding place or get rid of it all. Right, so we can assume that the renovation was the cause of the plate and bills disposal, and the reason Mr. Coachen was killed as the ringleader of the smuggling operation. Based on what we know, who do you think was the one with the most to gain? Alba, I guess? It's the one person who has been erasing all evidence of the smuggling operation. From both embassies, the co-conspirator who is mopping up Ambassador Alba.
That's right, he certainly could stand up a whole lot straighter after we caught him out on some stuff.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he was all strong and upright and all sorts of weirdness. Alba could conveniently place all of the guilt for the smuggling onto Coachen. I sense there's something he doesn't want us to investigate. The cause of Ambassador Alba's agitation, the rotten treasure we may find, the motive for killing Mr. Coachen. Miss Yu said it herself that she didn't kill anyone tonight. If we were to take her words at face value, then the reason for the ambassador's nervousness can only be one thing. He didn't want us to discover the real circumstances under which Mr. Coachen was killed. Then you mean Ambassador Alba is the real killer. But I thought the two of them were friends. Maybe they were, but what if Mr. Coachen was the one who first betrayed their friendship? Oh, I get it. Wasn't Mr. Coachen pushing really hard for Mr. Palaeno to be ambassador after the reunification? Yes, and that was the real reason why he wanted to steal Alabast's Privaduct statue. Hold on. Wasn't Mr. Coachen pushing really hard for Mr. Palaeno? Yeah. So Mr. Coachen hired Tomas II to go steal it for him, but when Ambassador Alba found out what he was up to, he killed Mr. Coachen. It is definitely a possibility at this point. These two really were thinking of no one but themselves. But the question now is, how did he do it? Ambassador Alba was an Alabast. But Mr. Coachen's body was discovered in Babel, right? Right, and that is what we must solve next. I believe we now understand why Ambassador Alba was so nervous and agitated. It must have something to do with where Mr. Coachen was killed. A place where the Alabastian ambassador was likely to meet the Babylese Mr. Coachen. The place where Ambassador Alba happened to have committed the murder is... Oh dear.
Is it the Theatrum Neutralis?
Because that is the neutral.
Take that!
The only place that makes sense is here at the Theatrum Neutralis. Plus, that's where the renovations are. What? Here? The Goodwill event was being held here today, correct? So the only place the both of them would have been in is here. But if that's the case, then everything changes. This theater isn't actually Alabastian land, so that wipes out one of those extraterritorial rights he has. It makes logical sense, in which case it is a reason for us to investigate further. So what should we check out? Let's see. I believe we should check the immigration records for both Alabast and Babel post-haste. Babel's record should be easy to obtain, however, the problem will be Alabast. I wonder if they would allow us to see their records despite the order to vacate. I'm already one step ahead of you, Miles Edgeworth. Franziska? I have here the security footage from both Alabast and Babel. You would do well to look at its contents. You move fast. Yvonne Karma strives to be perfect in every way. It is not in my nature to keep on retreating like this. I took the liberty of looking over the Babel investigation reports as well. From now on, you will make no excuse to back down or say that we can't solve this case. I'm sorry about earlier. We won't be beaten, because my cute little subordinate is going to try his very best, isn't he? Hasn't she patronized me enough already for a lifetime? So this video contains footage from Alabas immigration screening area. I really hope there's something in here that we can use. Which minute footage should I examine? Well, nothing really happened in the first one. Let's examine where Alba is. I can't believe how completely fooled I was by the way he carried himself. He had me fooled too. According to the files I had sent for earlier, Ambassador Alba was a Cadopian hero. He saved the royal family from danger countless times. So what bothers me is why would a man like that create a smuggling ring? Even when all the authority I have, I still haven't been able to figure out why. It sounds like the ambassador was a hero who was corrupted by evil. But no matter what happened in the past, we can't let the man he is now escape justice. This man is the immigration officer who was on duty. He's making the exact same scary face that he was making a minute ago. Wait, is it just me or is he blushing? It appears that he gets flustered around the ambassador. I guess the ambassador is well respected inside Alabas too. You could say that. The guard doesn't appear to be capable of looking at the ambassador. Those are posters of this country's tourist spots, though most are of Gatewater land. I wonder if Alabastians in general like theme parks at all. The guard who stopped you has been to Gatewater land a number of times, apparently. I guess they don't have theme parks in Alabas, huh? It's the door leading into the Theatrum Neutralis. The more the guy tried to keep me out, the more I wanted to get in. It's human nature. But I guess I can't complain too much. I did get let inside at the end. At least nothing seems out of the ordinary with the door. Gonna take a sip of tea. There we go. Alright. Don't see anything different. Doesn't something about this lump shape strike you as odd?
Maybe somebody's inside the bucket.
That
doll's on top of it.
Yeah, to just make it look like not noticeable or, not suspicious. No, there is clearly something odd about the bulge. If only we had the push card itself, we could compare and confirm my hunch. Now let us check the footage from Babel's security camera. I hope it shows us something good. Phooey, there wasn't a single sign of a suspicious person or anything. That right there is the contradiction. Did I miss something? You didn't miss anything because there was nothing to miss. However, what is missing is the image of Mr. Coachen entering his home country. But wasn't his body found in Babel? It would appear the true face of our final puzzle has finally revealed itself.
So his body is inside the baby carriage.
Probably,
Or whatever you call that part.
That's a little disturbing. Ambassador Alba. I thought I had asked for you and your group to vacate the premises, Mr. Edgeworth. Actually, I thought I should let you know that this theater sits on my country's soil. You've had your fun and I've enjoyed our little game. I dare say that you've even achieved a new high score. However, once you've recorded a score, that same game can never be replayed again. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Your game is done, and it's game over. Now, where do you think you're going at this time of night? After admitting to my crime, I was overcome with regret. So I am heading to the airport now to return home. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. There are still too many issues we need to discuss with you. You can't stop me, Mr. Edgeworth, and you know it. Please, may I have a little bit of your time, Ambassador Alba? Ambassador Palaeno? Even just a teeny tiny bit is fine with me. The already strained relationship between our countries is in a precarious situation, you know. Very well. If you insist, I will play just one more round with them, see what they want. Not that they'll get any farther. Ambassador Palaeno? Mr. Edgeworth, all I wish is for the normalization of relationships between our two countries. There's one person standing in the way of that dream. I believe in you. You'll do it, right? Thank you for your vote of confidence. Now then, what is it you wanted to ask me about? I do have a flight to catch after all.
What happened to your note?
So I'm afraid I'm going to have to limit you to just one question. Oh dear. That's more than enough, because I only have one question anyway. I want to hear your alibi about how you couldn't have killed Mr. Manny Coachen. Oh, I see. You seem to have a good hand this time around. This should be fun. This really is the very last chance we have to bring him down. I won't allow even an atom-sized contradiction to slip by. Frankly, I still don't understand why I am being placed under suspicion here. Under your hypothetical scenario, Mr. Coachen and I were fellow smugglers. But to get to the point, I was in Alabas the whole time. So it's simply not possible for me to have killed him in Babel. That is my alibi.
I have a random thing that just popped in my head that I need to tell you. So the massage therapist that I met today, he has a bunny rabbit, and guess what his name is?
Babel?
Elvis Parsley.
Elvis Parsley? That was a random thought. Did that testimony remind you of
I
that?
don't know why that just popped into my head. Maybe because all the green on that guy's suit made me think of, like,
Parsley.
parsley.
I can see that. I mean, he looks like a tree,
Yeah.
so it's pretty close to a plant.
I thought that was a cute name, though, Elvis Parsley.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good name. That is correct. It's simply not possible for me to have committed the crime in Babel. Now that we cleared that up, I'd appreciate it if you would move out of the way. I said hold it! What is it this time? I thought I told you I'd only allow one question. You did. But you still have yet to really answer my one question. What? Until you tell us the truth, I will refuse to budge an inch from where I'm standing. Very well. I'll play with you just a little longer. Miles Edgeworth is my subordinate and representative of this country's prosecutors. You are forbidden to lose. You know, maybe she should stand in the way at the door. I'd like to see him get past her. Of course, that is something I've understood from the start. That guy's the one who ordered my father killed, isn't he? Yes, I believe so. The goal of the first Yatagarasu was the capture of the smuggling ring's leader. My father and Uncle Bad, their legacy will live on through me. So that's why we've just got to catch him, okay? We will, I promise. Now, Ambassador Alba, let's have at the truth now, shall we? Heh heh heh. No matter how many times you ask, my answer remains the same. You're going down, buddy boy.
Hold it!
It's not a hypothesis. Earlier we proved it to be what happened. Ha ha ha. Well, let's leave that to one side for now, because it doesn't change the fact that I have no motive. Oh, so you really had no reason to kill Mr. Coachen? If you want to suppose I had one, then why not? I'll indulge you. After all, this is nothing more than a silly game to me. Even if that's how you see things, I'd appreciate it if you would take me seriously. Wahahaha! Ahem, I'm sorry. I suppose you are in a bit of a pickle. Very well. A game is no fun if the playing field isn't level. Therefore, I formally claim that I had no motive to kill. Now let's see you disprove it. How can he stand there looking proud when he knows he killed another human being? Well, I'm not going to stand by and just watch him get away with his crimes. A new thing popped up. What motive would I have had to kill my co-conspirator? Are you serious that just because you were partners that you had no motive to kill? I'm only following your hypothetical scenario to its logical conclusion. Ha ha ha. Looks like he's not going to admit it himself that he was in league with Mr. Coachen. I suppose not. But I do know his relation to the smuggling ring and to Mr. Coachen. You mean he's the ringleader and then Mr. Coachen was his subordinate, right? Correct, but I know more than just that. Miss Von Karma, I'm sure you remember the safe in Mr. Coachen's office, right? Yes, the safe had 2 compartments to it, didn't it? Yes, and why do you think those stolen goods were being stored in Mr. Coachen's office? Could it be because he was trying to cheat Ambassador Alba behind his back, so Mr. Coachen didn't turn the goods over, but decided instead to keep it for himself? I suppose that's possible. It seems to me that both men were only concerned with their own wealth and well-being. Then that means that maybe they didn't have a trusting relationship after all. When Ambassador Alba had to gain, I believe that is his motive for killing Mr. Coachen. What are you people whispering about amongst yourselves over there? I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Now then, let's continue with your testimony.
Hold it!
And what exactly did you do while you were in Alabast? I had a meeting with the Steel Samurai, and then I arranged a few files. Around that time, that thief who was sneaking in took me by surprise. Are you saying that it was Damas the second that made the first move? Yes, and it was after I was attacked that I hit him on the head with the Primaduck statue so badly. Unfortunately, he died from the blow, but it was an act of justified self-defense. Calling it that doesn't cover up what you really did. Ha 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 ha, cover up! No, my boy, I'm not covering up anything, I'm telling the truth. You weren't planning to admit to it, which is why you tried to frame the Steel Samurai. If you weren't an ambassador, I'd be letting my whip fly loose on you right now. I am terribly sorry that I didn't clean up the body better, but I am a busy man. I had a speech to give in the Rose Garden after that, you know. Yet despite that, you still had time to kill Mr. Coachen, didn't you? Oh, he has an objection. Man is evil, and I'm sure you are familiar with the facts, but Mr. Coachen was killed in Babel while I was all the way at Alabast.
Hold it!
You insist that it's not possible for you to have killed Mr. Coachen in Babel. And you are correct. Oh, I thought you would put up a bit more of a fight, but if you must concede to me, the only thing I am conceding is that it's not possible for you to kill him in Babel. I am not conceding that your alibi is the truth. Oh, I see. However, no matter how you try, know that you can't crush my alibi. You would be wise not to underestimate a prosecutor of this country. Hey, we'll see about that. So, Mr. Coachen was a friend of Ambassador Alba. If that's true, then why did the ambassador kill him? It's not like in the case of my father where he ordered someone to do it. The problem we have here is we don't know what their exact relationship was. Indeed, if they had complete trust in each other, then there is no motive for murder. However, both men were very selfish, and I believe that is from where his motive arose. Let's see if...
What motive would you have?
Yes.
The money? The printed money?
Could it be?
I don't know.
Objection!
No, it's most certainly not. Let's see.
Objection!
Oops. Let's press him on this again.
Hold it!
I wonder, do we still have a good that came from that safe? Like, this was in the safe.
What?
Let me just make sure.
Objection!
This was in the safe.
Objection!
Why has this case been such a butt kicker for us?
I don't know. Also, you know what's interesting? He has a single stab to the base of his neck, and so does he. But, like, maybe not the base, but you know, it's like it's about the same. It's just interesting. I don't know if it's relevant to him.
Did he try the statue? Like the reason that he might have killed him because they were switching the statues?
I'm not following.
What statue?
Objection!
Are you sure it's Babel's statue? Well, why couldn't you tell me it might have been Alabas? This statue?
Objection!
No, it's not.
You want to see?
No, it'll get us back here if we...
In that case, what motive do I have to kill my person's favorite? We tried the statues, we tried the money,
Yes.
we tried...
We've tried the Cadopian paper document.
Okay.
That, maybe. Handwriting matches that of Manny Coachen.
Objection!
Why didn't we think of that?
Because we thought beyond that about the statue, you know what I mean?
We are bad people. If you want to know, I believe you did have a motive to kill. It was because Mr. Coachen had betrayed you. But you had your own reason too, namely you wanted to pin the smuggling all on him. Evil begets evil, and because you were trying to test each other, it turned into this mess.
Objection!
I don't believe this. You have a bad penchant for telling tall tales, Mr. Prosecutor. And if you're not, then I suppose you have some proof to support your argument? I never use guesswork in moving my cases forward. Unless, of course, Marco and Adrian are at the helm. In which case, there's a lot of guesswork. It has been proven that this note was written by Mr. Coachen's hand. Shall we take a look at it? The content of that note is a request calling for the theft of Alabas Primaduck statue. By killing him and pushing all of the guilt for the smuggling onto him, you walk away spotless. I believe you understand what I'm driving at. You had more than a few reasons to kill him. Are you finished with your hypothesizing? Excuse me? Let's suppose I did have a motive. Even so, a motive or a thought alone can't kill. Isn't that right? I didn't expect him to resort to playing the semantics game with me. It appears that this is where the real battle will begin. Now then, if you will excuse me. Wait, what? I told you at the very beginning, didn't I? You only get one question. Ambassador Alba, if you could please give us just a little bit more of your time. It doesn't matter what kind of man Manny was, he was my subordinate, which is why I would like for us to figure out the real cause of his death. That is something for Babel to figure out, and something to which I have no relation. Now he's even turning down a request from Ambassador Palaeno. Very sorry, but it seems now even my voice falls on deaf ears. There's no need for you to apologize, Ambassador Palaeno. We must find a way to stop him from leaving. It seems there are no further objections. In that case, please allow me to return home. Maybe an objection from Kay. Hold it right there, Ambassador Alba. Kay? Like I said, Mr. Edgeworth, the Yatagarasu's legacy will live on through me. Yes, but how do you suggest we stop him from leaving? You just leave that to me. Ambassador Alba, do you recognize this? No, and why should I recognize that tattered old organizer? Wait, where have I seen that before? That is a clue my father, Byrne Faraday, left for us. Did you say Byrne Faraday? Mr. Faraday's organizer. Don't tell me this is the one from the second KG-8 incident. The one in which he wrote about the Yatagarasu's key? Yes, this organizer belonged to the prosecutor you had Miss Yu kill 7 years ago. I have no idea what you're talking about. You say that like it was related to me. Inside this organizer, he wrote up every detail of every evil thing you did. What an amusing little girl you are, but that sort of trickery won't work on me. If you won't believe me, then take a look at this. And what is that toy there? This thievery device was used by the Yatagarasu, or rather by my father. 7 years ago, he used this when he snuck into this embassy. What? These two pieces of evidence that hold information the Yatagarasu dug up on you. If you go home now, I won't hesitate to send it all to Alabas, right behind you. Little girl, get to the point. I want you to go up against Mr. Edgeworth one more time. If you win, then I'll hand over these two pieces of evidence. Yatagarasu, ever the thorn in my side. Okay, does that organizer really contain my information on his dirty dealings? It's nothing case-breaking, really. Then it was just a bluff. Even if it was, we still can't let all the info my father and Uncle Bad found go to waste. Plus, just the existence of Little Thief is troublesome enough for him. Those two pieces, aren't they keepsakes of your father's? It's okay, I believe in Mr. Edgeworth. They'll come out on top in the end. Okay. When the going gets tough, someone's got to be there to put the wind back in your sails. After all this time, you're still quite the feisty one. I applaud your powerful nature. I refuse to lose this too. Ambassador Alba, you won't be returning home until you give us further testimony. How dare you all, barring a person like me? Ambassador Alba, your testimony, if you please. Alright, but this is the absolute last. Then, even if you use all the power of Ambassador Palaeno's office, you won't stop me. Can't let this opportunity Kay has created for me go to waste. You realize after this, we'll be ready to play the second game, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't realize that? This is just the first game.
Oh, we did talk about how long it was, right?
Well, it's two separate games.
Yeah.
The last time I met with Mr. Coachen was here at Theatrum Neutralis. After that, I was in Alabas the rest of the time, as I stated earlier. In any case, I did not see Mr. Coachen again after that. So you see, there is no time span in which I could have killed him. Wouldn't you agree? So that's something to do here at Theatrum Neutralis. But see, that's wrong because our camera shows he never went in. Or maybe not. I mean, we are saying this is the crime scene, so maybe I'm overthinking this.
Or we have to figure out who's in the cart. A dead body or a killer? You know what I mean? I think it's a dead body, but...
What do you mean by killer? The only killer would have been him.
Yeah, but he could have been in the cart.
But a minute earlier, he was walking through.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
What an arrogant old man. Yes, but no matter. We can't allow this chance to escape us. I'll warn you, though, you've reached the end of my patience. Waste my time with any inane question and you will be punished. So any needless pressing or presenting will hurt our case. In that case, the only thing you can do is present the correct evidence, understood? Of course, I don't intend to let him intimidate me. I know Mr. Coachen was killed before he returned to Babel. In which case, there's only one statement to which I need to present the evidence. So it might be the first statement. Let's look at the statements again. Basically, we can't press him on anything. I was in Alba the rest of the time. Hold on a sec. Well, isn't this him returning to Alabast? And here we have that. There's the murder weapon. Well, let me do this one first, since this was my first guess.
Objection!
Boy. And this would be my second guess.
Objection!
And both guesses are wrong. Alright, let's see what ending we get. Now then, I believe I must end the game here. You've had enough fun, haven't you? Mr. Edgeworth, if you don't do something, he's going to get away. I've already confessed. What else do you want from me? No, I have yet to obtain the truth behind tonight's events. Do you think I really care about this truth you seek? Now, since I have admitted to my crime, I will need to pay the airport a visit. So, if you would be so kind as to move out of my way. Is there no way to stop this man? I don't believe we'll be meeting again. However, I will pray for your success. Heh. We're not through here yet. Ah! Boy, look at this. Look at Palaeno. Compared to the other three. Is it really game over? And the truth lost for all eternity. Alright, let's try this again.
Oh! What, this good? Yeah. He didn't even bat an eye. I suppose this wasn't related after all. After that, I was in Albas the rest of the time, as I stated earlier. Can you look at something to press him on?
Well, I wonder. I don't think we can. I feel like the game's telling us we can't press him on anything. Although.
We have to present something, I guess?
Yeah. He said there's only one thing we have to. So any needless pressing or presenting will hurt our case. The only thing you can do is present the correct evidence. Mr. Coachen was killed before he returned to Babel, in which case there was only one statement to which I need to present the evidence. So...
Show a picture of the cart that comes in behind him.
I already did. That's the security footage. Oh, the cart itself.
Yeah.
How is that going to contradict this?
Because he's in the cart. So he may have met him there, but hid him in the cart and then took him out of the cart.
The second statement you want that for?
Well, look at the...
This one?
Yes.
Objection!
Oh, just kidding.
You're a bad jokester. Let's see, Mr. Coachen, we can't make it up. There'd be...
Objection!
Amazing. Diplomats really do know how to craft answers that don't answer anything. So if the only place he met the victim was at this theater, then when was he killed? We know that Mr. Coachen didn't return to Babel alive, which means that the only time he could have been killed is when they were both here. So that means that he was planning to kill Mr. Coachen from the start. Let me save only because if we fail, I don't want to go through the ending again.
Mm-hmm.
I met it last time Mr. Coachen was here. I'm pretty sure that's true. No time span. Yes, there is.
Objection!
No. Thought that would be it.
Where was this at?
This was at the theatrum. But see the murder weapon?
Yeah.
Oh, you must have been dozing off at this point. You see that flower that's missing a petal?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So that's the murder weapon, which, see how that's missing a petal?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the murder weapon. There we go. I'd like you to take a look at this picture. It's a rather nice picture, isn't it? It was to commemorate the restoration of relations between our nations. Oh, it's commemorative, all right. One that captures the proof I need to show that it was you who committed the murder. Come again? This is the knife that killed Mr. Coachen. I see you recognize it, as well you should, for it was you who brought it to this theater. You hid it in among the flowers you were to give to the Steel Samurai. Meaning that you killed Manny Coachen here at the theater. It's time for me to catch my flight. We're not through yet. It's game over for you, Mr. Edgeworth. But I thank you for the entertainment. No matter how passionately you orate, the end result will still be the same. I won't be returning to this country ever again. That's right, the man is an ambassador and he has extraterritorial rights. No matter how hard we chase after him, we won't be able to have him tried in court. Yes, that's exactly the face you should be making. The face of a worthless cur. Oh. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, I must bid you farewell. The courts. Is there no one who can lay a finger on this man? Is this really the end? Oh, it's him! Agent Lang! Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Prosecutor. Get out of my way, my plane is scheduled to take off soon. Sorry, but you're not going anywhere, Mr. Alba. I'm through playing games with you people. You can't touch me. If you do, it would spark an international incident, Agent Lang. Sorry, but no, it wouldn't. What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Good job holding the fort down until I got back. So, Mr. Alba, your diplomatic immunity has just been revoked. What do you mean, revoked? Spare me this nonsense and let me through. Lang's eye says, before aiming for the throat, chew the neck shield off first. Interpol headquarters and the Imperial household of the Kingdom of Alabast took a while to get things rolling, but they finally moved on it. The Imperial household? You, what have you done? You have been relieved of your duties as ambassador, Mr. Alba. That's why he called him Mr. Alba coming in. What? Effective today, effective right now. And you have Mr. Prosecutor's videotape to thank for this. The video the Yatagarasu protected. You can't be arrested simply because you're an ambassador? In that case, I thought I'd strip you off that title. You underestimated me, a descendant of the founder of detainment philosophy, Lang's eye. 4,000 years of deeply entrenched connections and networks around the world have really paid off. Oh, it can't be. I don't believe. Is he punching himself? My ambassadorship has been revoked? Ah ha ha ha. Looks like you're finally coming to grips with your new standing. Woohoo! Looks like he's turned docile again. He's probably in shock from the loss of his shield. What a shame. I have so wanted to use my whip on him. Why is this happening to me? I'm just a hard-working, honest ambassador. Do you really think you can still pull that on us now? We've already ripped away the mask and seen you for who you really are, Mr. Alba.
Objection!
Uh-oh. No. I won't be stopped now. He still intends to fight us? So what if I am no longer an ambassador? You still don't have any evidence on me. The fact remains that you cannot arrest me. I expected no less from you, the boss of the smuggling ring. Well, the rest is up to you, Mr. Prosecutor. Understood. Hehehe. You say that I killed Mr. Coachen in the theater, but even if it's true that there was a knife in my bouquet, I left that bouquet in the theater, so anyone could have taken it out from there and used it, right? Besides, the claim that he was killed here itself is odd. After all, wasn't his body discovered in Babel? Are you claiming that I carried his body all the way over there? Preposterous. I'll be the one to prove whether it's preposterous or not. Ex-Ambassador Alba, are you ready? Because this is no game. This is war. I killed Mr. Coachen in this theater using a knife that was stuck in my bouquet. I left that bouquet in the theater. Anyone could have taken the knife from there. Besides, Mr. Coachen's body was discovered in Babel, right? There's no way for me to have transported his body from the theater to Babel. We already know what to present there. Look, don't you think you've had enough fun with me? You've already stolen my ambassadorship from me. Would you have me surrender too? You have no plans to ever return to this country, isn't that right? Did you know that a bunch of your subordinates are seeking asylum because of you? Ha ha ha, as if I care. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, boot this guy out of the embassy, and we can finally end everything. I know, and I will give it my all to see that he leaves in handcuffs. Without the title of ambassador, he is just another witness. Yes, just another witness. Alright, what are we waiting for? Let's get this guy. And Get him good. I wonder if they understood that all I can do is present evidence to the testimony.
Objection!
Actually, I do believe there was a way to transport the body out of the theater. Perhaps you should give this a look? What is that supposed to be? It's footage from a security camera that captured the state of the immigration area. Should I congratulate you on getting your hands on it? Just letting you know that we're not the only ones watching your every movement. Thank you for the warning. Now, if you could take a good look at this section here. This lump here inside the pushcart, do you know what's causing it? Should I? Because I don't. In that case, allow me to enlighten you. This is the cause of the unnatural lump under the cloth in the pushcart. His body? Or...
Take that!
What is the meaning of showing me that? It's to say that the unnatural bulge in the pushcart is Mr. Coachen's body. You had the steel samurai wheel his body away from the real crime scene. Ah ha ha ha, what a guess. But I wonder if you have any evidence to support it. I admit that for now it is but a hypothesis, however. Ah ha ha, if you can't prove it, then I'm afraid I must be on my way. I don't have any more time to play with you people. Sorry I took so long, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Gummy? Detective Gumshoe, is that the Steel Samurai's pushcart? Yes, sir, I found it in the open air stage area. So that's where you went. The detective spirit that Pops left with me with. I thought I'd follow my gut and go with it, sir. So, Mr. Edgeworth, is this worth anything to the case? Yes. It might just play a major role in solving this case, detective. But something isn't right. I thought that the entire samurai family was in Alabast. Where exactly in the open-air stage area did you find this pushcart? I found it just lying at the edge of the stage, sir. Oh? Well, let's leave that for now and examine the inside, detective. Yes, sir. Oh, dear. It's blood. This must be Mr. Coachen's blood, which only goes to prove that Mr. Coachen's body was indeed transported by this pushcart. I believe you understand what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Coachen at the theater and then placed his body inside the pushcart. And then, you forced the Steel Samurai to unwittingly move the body for you.
Objection!
I forced him to move the body into Alabast? What nonsense. Why would I bother to do such a thing? You were scheduled to make a speech in Alabast, meaning it was difficult for you to make a stop in Babel. However, what if you moved the body to Alabast? Because it was your embassy, you could keep an eye on it and tamper with the evidence. And then you smuggled it out of Alabast. No! If I can show you how you moved the body from Alabast to Babel, then I win. But you can't. The security between the two countries is incredibly tight. I'll be the one to judge whether I can prove it or not. And so I asked you to provide us with testimony regarding your movements after your return to Alabast. Miles Edgeworth, have you figured it out? Do you know how the body was moved? To be honest, I have nothing to support my hypothesis at this time. However, I don't believe I've made a mistake in my logic up to this point. Which means there is no question that can't be answered, right? The Primiduck statue was smuggled successfully through a brief flight through the air. So why shouldn't there be an answer as to how the body was moved? Which means that there must be a logic flaw somewhere I can exploit. After I returned to Alabast, I had my picture taken with the Steel Samurai shaking hands. Then just as I was about to start my speech, the Yatagarasu appeared. I feared for the national treasure, so I raced back to my office. Is that all? Yes, that's all. It looks like you left out a few things, such as the murder of the Mask II. Furthermore, you left out the part about meeting with me in your office. Ah, those trifling matters. I don't believe I need to speak of those things again. I do so hate to waste time. What? You? Is not every life precious? Heh, do you really need me to answer that for you? People like you cannot be allowed to wander freely through society. Then you'd better try hard, because I doubt you'll find a single contradiction. He's surely full of himself, isn't he? Yes, he is. How can he be so confident? Ah, come, don't be shy. Go ahead and ask whatever you'd like. Movements in Alabast. After I return to Alba, I'm tempted to take this.
Hold it!
So why was it only the Steel Samurai? I thought the Pink Princess was also around. The Pink Princess was suffering from a bad hip at the time, and the doctors recommended that she rest. Wow, so you do have a soft side after all. Pain of a bad hip. I suppose none of you can really understand how it feels. Oh, so you tend to strain your back as well, huh? But isn't that just because you're normally all hunched over? You didn't need to keep up the act no matter what, I suppose. The point of this is not to discuss my back problems. For about 15 minutes after our handshake, I was in my office preparing for the speech.
Hold it!
The Yatagarasu was just a trick that you had set up. Ha ha ha, most amusing joke. And how do you propose that I set it up? If you really want to know, I can explain it in detail for you. You arrange the spotlights in the rose garden so that when you were to take the stage, the audience would see the Yatagarasu's shadow. Oh, that is an interesting tale. Sadly, it has nothing to do with me. You? What's it going to take for you to fess up on anything? Very well then, let's move on to a different question. After the Yatagarasu appeared, what was the state of the rose garden? Everyone took refuge inside the embassy. I even helped with the effort. And then, once everyone was inside, well...
Hold
it! What happened after you returned to your office? I don't want to keep on repeating this, however, upon my return I had that stroke of bad luck and bumped into the mask ban. And I don't want to keep repeating on this either, but his name was the Mask II. Who cares what he was called? By the time he got to the primitive statue that he was supposed to steal, it had already been swapped for the fake. Talk about an unlucky man being bludgeoned to death with a fake statue. Miss Von Karma is really letting her whip fly now. Eek! She must be at the limit of her patience as well. But physical attacks are meaningless here. Only evidence will suffice. Ugh. I can't find a single flaw in this argument. At this rate, I won't be able to prove that he is actually guilty of anything.
Dun, dun, dun.
Are we finished here? Miles Edgeworth, can you not come up with how the body was moved to Babel? Sir? Mr. Edgeworth. Even after proving so much, is he going to get away with it? Is this the end?
To be continued? Oh.
It appears that we made it just in time. Who's that? It would be a great honor if you would allow us to be your allies in battle. Evil magistrate, it is time for you to pay. Oldbag?
Is it Oldbag and Mary?
It's the Steel Samurai? No, you are mistaken, for I am Steel Samurai Daddy, married man of Neo Old Tokyo. Okay, so Larry and Oldbag. And this is Pink Princess Mommy. Edgy poo! Oh! The two people that I wanted to see the least. Larry! What are you two doing here? Way to show your gratitude, Edgy. We just wanted to help. Yeesh. I'm gonna get the bad guy with a single thrust of my samurai spear. Go away! How could you be so mean to us, Edgy Poo? All three of us came to lend a hand, and this is how you treat us? Well, isn't this grand? And I see they managed to find the Iron Infant. Does that really matter right now? Hey, it's just me or is the Iron Infant completely soaked? Oh yeah. I found him in Babel, but he was in the middle of the pool. Wait a second. Larry, go back to what you just said. Huh? Oh, it appears that we made it. Not that far back. Something about finding the Iron Infant in Babel. We found it in a pool. I don't recall there being one in Babel. Oh, that. Well, I was in Alabas the whole time, so I had no idea how the Iron Infant wound up in Babel. I thought I had lost him in the Rose Garden. But I guess maybe this cute kid can swim, huh? Wait, what? Larry, you lost the Iron Infant in the Rose Garden? Are you sure about that? Yeah, I'm sure. But I found him in... That's enough, Larry. The Iron Infant that Larry lost managed to move between the two countries. Furthermore, the Iron Infant was found soaked in the middle of the pool. This is what I've been looking for. It's another smuggling route between the countries. The key to the route the Iron Infant took to travel from Alabas to Babel is the Yatagarasu bilateral symmetry counterfeiting. 2? I don't see how it's the other 2. Ah, that's right. The embassy was built with bilateral symmetry in mind. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir? There is a location I wish for you to examine post-haste. It is where I believe the route used to smuggle Mr. Coachen's body lies. Does something like this really exist? An embassy built on bilateral symmetry, meaning that this is where we need to examine. Hold on. There's a point I wish for you to examine post-haste. This is where I believe the route used to smuggle Mr. Coachen's body lies. The pool?
Take that!
You got it, sir. I'm back, sir. Getting that report. Sorry, but there wasn't anything... Seriously, are we gonna put him places until he finally gets it right? You couldn't find anything there. Could you, not one of your precious holes? Alright, I need to think about this calmly and rationally. The Iron Infant that Larry lost managed to move between the two countries. Furthermore, the Iron Infant was found soaked in the middle of a pool. So the location Detective Gumshoe should be investigating is here.
Take that!
Yes, sir. I'll be back before you know it. It's too late. Doesn't matter now what you do. It's all a waste of time. You will stay here with us and wait. This is Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, it's here, sir. There is a reservoir here, just like in the Rose Garden. Just as I suspected. What is it? The two sides of this embassy are mirror images of each other, which means that there is also a pool at the corresponding location on the Babelese side. Mr. Coachen's body was moved into Babel through the pool in Alabas. Avoiding the topic with a vague answer like that is unbecoming of a prosecutor. If you don't mind, I'd like to see more physical proof if you have any. The Iron Infant is positively soaked in water. Why do you think that is? It's because he was fished out of a pool, and not just any pool, it was the Babelese one. I think it's pretty obvious at this point what must be true. The water reservoirs in the two courtyards are connected. Where is your proof that the two sides are connected? The proof is right here before your eyes, the half-drowned iron infant. This blasted doll? Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back. Hey, don't tell me, you guys figured everything out without me? We did, thanks to this hero of justice's son. Even if he is just a doll, he managed to help foil the villain. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, look, I don't want to say this, but it's kind of unlikely that the body just happened to have passed on through the battle. This guy's a doll and he's small, so I can believe he made it, but he has a point. Heh. Yes, that's right, I'm glad someone understands. Mr. Edgeworth, are you really going to next propose that a dead body can swim through a pipe? See, Mr. Prosecutor, our chase after this man so... Auto refills when the water level is too low. Agent Lang. Why is he helping Mr. Alba out now? He's not. He realized the flaw in my argument and is helping to move the logic along. In which case, I should return the favor and find an answer. And another thing. Mr. Coachen's body was found in this office in Babel. So what happened to his body after it was transported to the open-air stage? Mr. Alba had an accomplice in Babel, remember? You mean Shi-na, right? With her there, you can see how it was possible to move the body up to the office. Are you seriously claiming that she swam through the connecting pipe with the body? He's right, Miss Shi-na would drown if she did that. It's hard to imagine that she swam through the connecting pipe. It looks like your hypothesis about how the body was moved is still only half-baked. In the end, it's all just the befuddled musings of an accusatory man. Now then, I believe you should give up and allow me passage, because from the start there was no feasible method of transporting the body. What? Mr. Prosecutor, recall Shi-na's movements. What was happening in the embassy around the time Miss Shi-na was in Babel? Oh, if only there was a way to get rid of the water in the pool. There is a way! Get rid of the water? Aha, that's it! Now, I believe this time we are really done, right? Unfortunately for you, it's far from over, Mr. Alba. You are a most persistent man. Are you saying that you thought of a way to move the body through the water? Move the body through the water? That is completely unrelated to how it was done. Excuse me? The reason I say this is because there wasn't any water there at the time. What do you mean there wasn't any water? Just what it sounds like. Tonight's events made possible to drain the water, allowing the body to move.
Take that!
Tonight's events made it possible to drain the water, allowing the body to be moved. Let's see. Oh, it's the fires.
Take that!
Tonight, the Yatagarasu set fire to a variety of locations in the Babelese embassy. In order to put the fires out, much of the reservoir's water was used. Of course, when the water was used, the reservoir's water level went down. If enough water was drained, the connecting pipe could be used to traverse the border. So what? The water level went down, the reservoirs were connected. Does any of this matter? You can't prove any of this. Pretending to be ignorant won't work with me. We both know what kind of situation we're in right now. Even in a game, there comes a critical game-changing moment. A moment in which you hit a wall that you must overcome in order to beat the game. I haven't lost yet. I found the route you used to smuggle the body, and that route will lead you to your defeat. Even if all the water was used by the firefighting effort, you still can't really call that a smuggling route. I know that. Ha ha ha, I should have figured that you would notice. Hey, Mr. Alba, how deep are those pools anyway? I'll have you know those pools are extremely deep, and there are no ladders or footholds along the walls either. It would be difficult for Shi-Na to hold the body and climb up out of the pool. Ladders or footholds along the walls? There is no need for such things. What do you mean? If one were to use a certain something, they could go up or down in the pool at will. Oh, it looks like you've got an answer already? Well, what are you waiting for, Mr. Prosecutor? We already know. Now,
Take that!
Mr. Alba used the fountain spouts in a manner of speaking. He used the fountain spouts? How so? The water level in the pools can be controlled by opening and closing the spouts. Miss Shi-Na and the body were lifted upward by their buoyancy in water. The fire on the Ablaze side and the firefighting effort, these were set in motion all for the sake of smuggling Mr. Coachen's body. Shall I show you where the final destination of my train of logic leads? First, Mr. Alba closed the fountain spouts in advance in preparation of things to come. Then he took the pushcart that was brought to the Rose Garden and pushed it, along with the Iron Infant and Mr. Coachen's body, into the pool. At this time, Miss Shi-Na was busy conveniently starting the first fire in Babel. Then she made for the open-air stage's pool to wait for the firefighting effort to begin. When the firefighters used the water in the pool, the water level went down. And by the time the fire was put out, the pipe between the two pools was exposed. This is where she pushed the pushcart from Alabas into Babel. Once that was accomplished, Mr. Alba simply opened the fountain spouts once more. And the water level rose up to its original level, along with Miss Shi-Na and the body. After that, Miss Shi-Na used the pushcart to carry the body up to the Secretariat's office. There's an elevator in the embassy, after all, so you see, even with her small frame, she could easily have transported Mr. Coachen's body. And that wraps up my thorough explanation of how the body was moved. No! Well, ex-Ambassador Alba, what do you think? Not so untouchable without your precious extraterritorial rights to protect you, are you? I knew you could do it, Mr. Edgeworth. Way to fight back. You accuse me of moving the body across country lines, but when you get down to the nitty-gritty, you don't have what it takes to indict me. The nitty-gritty, what does the old man want now? Proof, I believe, is what he seeks. Yes, proof. Without any, who is to say whether or not any of what you said really happened? He wants proof. What are we going to do, Mr. Edgeworth? There is no need to worry. I've had all the proof we need all along. The body wasn't the only thing to go through the pool's connecting pipe tonight. Oh, yeah! Yes, the pick!
Take that!
And what exactly is this? You have no idea, do you? This little piece that I found on the Babelese side will be your undoing. A guitar pick? Would you care to explain how that is going to do me in, as it were? Much to your chagrin, perhaps, but this is not a guitar pick. What? This is something I found at the open-air stage, which was transported with the body. I naturally assumed that you would recognize it, since you took a photo with it, after all. Since you don't, allow me to show you what this fragment from the stage area belongs to. So wait a second. You took a photo with it, after all. Oh! It's part of the weapon! I thought I noticed that before.
Take that!
Let us take a good look at the murder weapon that was used to kill Manny Coachen. On the handle of this knife, there was a beautifully blooming flower. However, it would appear that it's missing a single petal. Now, let's see what happens when we try to fit this pick in that open slot. It's a perfect fit! I assume that the petal must have fallen off the flower during Mr. Coachen's murder, and then it was accidentally placed into the pushcart along with Mr. Coachen's body. That's an interesting story, nothing more. Oh, I assure you it's more than just a story, because for some odd reason this flower petal was wet when I found it. It was wet, you say? Yes, and the only place it could have gotten wet from is the open-air stage's pool. Now I ask you, how did a part of the weapon, which was smuggled into the theater, wind up in the open-air stage area on the Babylese side of the embassy? I don't think I need to waste any words explaining this, as this petal explains it all for me. It proves that someone went from the Rose Gardens pool on through into Babel. Impossible! The people of Zhang-Fa have been waiting to see you face to face, Mr. Alba. I'll tell everyone back home will be there soon. You should be happy. Why? Why? It's a little late to be asking that question. You should have known from the very beginning, when you took your first life. No matter how you may plot, or how you may try to cover it all up, you can never hide from your crime and what you've done. Because we're here to see to it that justice is served to people like you. You can't call what you've given a perfect argument. Oh, dude, give it up! You know, I don't think this guy is ever going to admit to his wrongdoings, Mr. Edgeworth. Because he values himself above all else. People who can't be negotiated with, or people who refuse to admit when they've lost, I don't believe those kinds of people really exist because everyone breaks eventually. You're right, in that case I have no choice but to use all of the evidence I have. I use it all until he breaks under the weight of his crimes. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. This really will be the end of the line. Seriously? How is it not over?
I don't know, this has been one of the more longer cases.
It has. It's been really long.
It's been very, very intricate, and I don't know if they're saving and planning a lot of groundwork for the next one. It would have to be, because it's very intricate.
Yeah, there's just a lot. It's like this testimony just does not want to end. I guess we're going into the final one. The second game's after this. Here, the second game is quite lovely. And was only released in Japan, so I really don't know much about it. But that'll be for later. For now, we end this part, because, this guy is one stubborn son of a gun.